Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel Infinity Dove Tarot and Dowsing. My name is KEIRSTIN. Today we're going to take a look at the tragic death of Nolan Wells. First, I'd like to say my deepest condolences go out to Nolan's family, to his friends, and everyone who loved him. May Nolan rest in peace. Today I'm breaking this case down one question at a time, and I'm asking several questions of the cards. I'm going to be using my Simply Black and White Oracle deck and the Murder Mystery Oracle cards. So the questions I'm asking are, what condition was Nolan in 5 to 10 minutes prior to his death? What happened? Who was involved? Does the energy lean more towards an accident, confrontation, the M word? What might investigators have understood? What's the hidden truth? And what might eventually come to light? So let's see what the cards have to say. Remember, tarot is for fun and entertainment. It's not fact. So please use your own discernment. Everything I say here is alleged and for entertainment purposes only. Let's begin. The first question to the cards is, what was Nolan's condition 5 to 10 minutes before his death? And I shuffled the cards and Shook Up fell out. Now, I pre-shuffled and laid out all the cards with the questions in a different order than they're laid out, but this is where I left them, and that plays a part or a role in my readings. So where I position cards can sometimes give me more information. But anyway, so I asked the question, what was Nolan's condition, like his mental condition, his emotions, 5 to 10 minutes before his death? And we got shook up. So we see this woman peering fearfully through some closed blinds. And it says shook up, scared, nervous, worried, paranoid. So I feel like Nolan was scared. He was nervous. He was worried. He was in a situation that felt unsafe to him. It doesn't feel like someone who's calm, relaxed, or unaware. It feels like he knew something was wrong, and he may have not known who to trust in those last moments. He may have felt like he was caught in something and trying to figure out how to get out of it. Then I asked, well, what actually happened? And we got internal flame fell out. Internal flame says soulmate, irresistible bond, deep connection, unconditional love. This gives me the impression of some kind of attraction or chemistry or strong pull toward another person. And this was the challenge. This feels like another person is part of the reason that the situation started. It could be because of a girl, a connection, or somebody Nolan was interested in. Caged bird also fell out. Caged bird showing a woman in a bird cage. The door is open, but they don't see it because their head is in their hands. So they feel stagnation, blockages, restriction, feeling helpless. And this changes the whole energy, right? I feel like we go from an attraction to feeling restricted. I feel like Nolan is trapped or he's cornered. He feels powerless. right? He's scared. He doesn't know who to trust. He's unable to get away. He's captive in some way. It feels emotional and physical, giving me the impression of someone being pinned or held like in a wrestling hold or something, or blocked or restricted in some way. That's the feeling I get. That's just my impression. I asked who was involved, and Memory Lane came out. Memory Lane showing a woman marking up her yearbook, right? She's labeling who's who: the cheater, the clown, the pet, the bestie. You know, it says reminiscing, nostalgia, flashbacks, making a strong impact. So this gives me the feeling of the Six of Cups from Tarot, which is like the past, someone from his past. Maybe Nolan knew someone from his past, from school. You know, it's giving me yearbook energy. But when I place it next to Caged Bird, I also got the feeling of past history, someone with a past history, like what do you call the suspects, the thing that they have at the police station where they go through their list of suspects, yeah, or their I can't think of the wording, their library or their archive of inmates across the country. You know what I mean? Their past history. Because it's next to this I always think of this as the Eight of Swords, because you're caged, you're trapped. It's got the energy of the Eight of Swords from Tarot, which is a prison card. So this person may have a past criminal past history. That might be why the Memory Lane came out. Or someone with a reputation, a past. So it's feeling like police logs or inmate lists or records or somebody with a history of trouble. So the person connected to this, so this is who or what's involved, may have had a past history of trouble that can be looked back upon. It's recorded somehow. And this feels important. Then I asked the cards, does this look more like an accident? Did Nolan die by accident or something else involved? And we got I got be careful reversed. Upright, be careful, is the operation game. We're all, you know, those of us who can remember the operation game, I think they still have it, where you use a tweezer to pull out the organs from the paper man. There's cutouts here and the little organs are inside, and you got to pull it out without touching the side. And if you touch it, the buzzer, the alarm goes off, you lose a point and you lose your turn. And it's reversed. And it's a body. So this could be Nolan's body. And the question was, does it look more like an accident or something else involved? And we got be careful reverse. You got to pay attention. and not touch the wrong thing, and don't remove the wrong thing. Don't make a mistake with this game. So I feel like they haven't handled the body carefully. They haven't handled the body carefully. I think it's talking about the autopsy or the evidence, the body. Something crucial may have been removed, mishandled, contaminated, or made unavailable. And that missing piece, right, may be a part of why this case is so hard to understand and resolve. So I clarified this card and I asked Spirit to show me what physically led to Nolan's death. And the card that came out was Got Beef. A picture here, this is just an image of two people, eye to eye, forehead to forehead, nose to nose, and it's on site, right? Fighting, conflicts, battle, unresolved issues. So it kind of locks in the story right here, right? I think that next to internal flame, I feel like there may have been some kind of personal conflict or jealousy involved that turned into something physical. It feels like a beef over a connection, an attraction, or another person. It feels like a confrontation happened. It feels like unresolved tension. So someone may have been holding some resentment or bitterness towards Nolan, or vice versa. Feels like somebody had a problem with him, and that problem came, you know, came straight at Nolan. And with Got Beef touching the caged bird, that tells me that in this confrontation, right, Nolan felt trapped, pinned, cornered, unable to get away, felt powerless and scared and nervous. And it's given me the impression of a struggle where Nolan couldn't move freely. He was restricted. He was searching his mind for a way out. And he felt helpless. I don't know the exact medical cause because the cards don't clearly show that part, but the impression I get is that something happened during the physical confrontation. I feel like Nolan may have been unable to breathe, move, or free himself. Then I asked, what might investigators or the public have misunderstood? And I used the murder mystery cards, and I got contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing this case. A friend knows something. Suspect lives near the scene of the crime. The victim didn't know the killer. And in the future, the killer may admit guilt. So let's go through these. I think that this definitely contamination of DNA evidence may be influencing the case. I think that's this be careful here, right? evidence was missing or unclear or compromised or contaminated, not fully reliable. So we have two cards pointing to something not being handled cleanly. And the evidence doesn't tell the full story. I feel like I think they said that there was some evidence that's missing or that was taken from the first autopsy and I guess not preserved. So I think without that evidence, they're not going to ever fully know exactly what caused his death through the bodily evidence. And I asked, well, what's the hidden truth? What's the hidden truth? And what I got was a friend knows something. So I think that Nolan wasn't alone. I think that there might have been someone who knew Nolan, who may have witnessed or knows something about the situation. And I actually have asked, when I first got this deck, that this was the first case I thought about. So I actually shuffled the cards and asked some arbitrary questions. And this card fell out, a friend knows something, and a suspect lives near the scene of the crime, and in the future the killer may admit guilt. Those three cards came out of all of these cards, and they came out again when I officially did it for this reading. So that says something. We'll see. We'll see how it unfolds. But let me keep going. Yeah, I take that seriously when you get repeat cards. So I feel like somebody close to Nolan knows more than they have said. I don't know if that means a friend caused it, but it could mean that a friend knows who was involved, or what the conflict was about, what happened to Nolan before he died, or someone had beef with him. Then I asked, well, what might eventually come out? And we got the suspect lives near the scene of the crime. Like I said, I pulled this card before, and it feels like a direct clue. The person connected to this may be a local in the area, familiar with the scene, or living near where this happened. Then I asked one final question. Is there anything else Spirit wants us to know? And I got the victim didn't know the killer, which makes me go back to memory lane where I said Nolan may have known this person. There may have been familiarity, seeing as I always feel the Six of Cups when I look at this card. But now that I know, or that the cards say the victim didn't know the killer, perhaps the familiarity was with the friend. Nolan's friend knows the killer. Sorry, I said K-I-L-L-E-E-R. Sorry. I'm not sure if I can say that word. Darn it. It's so hard to be on YouTube nowadays to remember what you can say and can't say and be in a vibe at the same time. Doggone it. Hopefully that doesn't get me. I mean, I'm not monetized anyway, but I don't want to have anything, any marks on my channel. So, been through that before. So I don't think that Nolan knew who his perpetrator was. Maybe the friend knows of the person's past history, and that could be evidence that could be used. A friend knows something, and it hasn't been said yet. So, and then I just asked one more time, is there anything else, Spirit, that you can tell us before, I end the reading? And it said, in the future, the killer may admit guilt. I did it again. The perpetrator may admit guilt. So let's be hopeful about that. Fingers crossed. That would be a blessing. So when I put this whole reading together, this is what I'm picking up. I feel like Nolan was scared 5 to 10 minutes before his death. He was in a situation that already turned threatening. There was a personal conflict or jealousy connected to an attraction or a girl. Or some emotional connection that turned a conflict physical, right? Giving the impression of Nolan being trapped or pinned or restricted, unable to get away. And then the be careful reverse feels like the major clue is missing, something not handled carefully. Either in the moments afterward or with the autopsy. Both can be true. And the contamination of DNA evidence backs that up. Evidence unclear, incomplete, or compromised. And we have repeat messages. A friend knows something. Suspect lives near the scene of the crime. And in the future, suspect may admit guilt. So my final feeling is that Nolan may not have known the person who caused his unaliving, but a friend may know something about their history or past trouble or their reputation or whatever. And we may never conclusively know the exact cause of Nolan becoming unalived because of the missing evidence. And that's what I have here. That's what I'm seeing in the cards today. Again, I just want to say my deepest condolences go out to Nolan's family and his friends and all those who loved him. Rest in peace, Nolan. Rest in peace. And remember, everyone, tarot is for fun. It's for entertainment. It's not fact. Please use your own discernment. Everything I say here today was alleged and for entertainment purposes only. If you enjoyed today's reading, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I appreciate all my subscribers. Help us get to 500. And also, if you'd like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.